We're all designers here, so I thought this was a safe place to talk about color. Oh my goodness, color is one of those subjects that not everyone agrees on, right? There are colors we tend to be attracted to, there are colors that we aren't attracted to, but instead thought I could talk about a couple of the negative and positive effects of color and how you can start thinking about incorporating those things in your life. So if you're on the YouTube channel, you can see I'm wearing actually like a light, it's like a teal, I'll call it like a light robin's egg blue today. I'm sitting in a navy chair. So how do you feel looking at me on YouTube? If you're on the podcast, I know you're not on YouTube, but YouTube, if you're looking for it, go to youtube.com/Carina Gardner, and you can check out my podcast there, and you can kind of see all the colors and me moving around my house, etc. But if you're on YouTube and you see these colors, how do you feel? Okay, well, first of all, we're using basically two of the same color, but in various values, right? And so the goal is for you to feel a little more calm, right? Blue tends to make us feel a little more calm. We relate it to the ocean, to water, to sky, to open spaces in nature. So it makes us feel a little bit calmer, okay? They've done a little bit of research on colors, and while, I'm going to tell you what some of that research is, I really want you to dig into what makes you feel good, because it depends on how it's worn. It depends on how you see it in your home, and it can be exciting. It also can be relaxing, and it's more about the emotion that you want to have in your home, right? So, or surrounding you, especially if you're in your studio. Okay, so the number one thing I think is really interesting is they're showing that green tends to amplify positive emotions and decrease negative emotions. So I thought that was really interesting. And when you think about nature, that makes a lot of sense. Like some greenery around you feels like open meadows or trees. And when you get those pictures in your head, what do you feel? You kind of feel like this, like relaxing. It feels like open, and the happiness that nature kind of might bring you, right? Whereas they say that the color in particular of red, so red feels like it incites more negative emotions. It's very much associated with failure or loss or error. And when you think about red, I mean, I always think about, back in middle school or high school when all of my papers were marked with red and I get a bad grade or didn't do as well on a test, and it's like all marked with red, right? That's how we associate red. Now, just because the research shows that doesn't mean that you can't transfer that somewhere else. For example, to me, sometimes, especially when I'm wearing red, it makes me feel more vibrant. It brings up my energy levels. It gets me excited. And as we know, there are lots of different tones of red, and every red is a little different. I was laughing with a friend because when we went to Hong Kong for press checks, so very often the red they use there has a very orange undertone, and for them that is the red. Versus, you get a red with a much more blue undertone, and that's going to feel maybe more like a Christmassy, what we consider like a United States Christmassy red, right? So every red is different, just like every blue is different, just like every green is different, okay? But what I want to emphasize to you is what colors trigger you. You know what colors make you happy, no matter what the research says. So what you need to do is figure out ways to bring that into your life more. Now, since we're on the subject of red, so I know it's February, and I think we're past Valentine's Day at this point, or maybe it is Valentine's Day. I'm not sure when this episode's coming out. What is interesting is that, especially like my Christmas tree and all my Valentine stuff, it's a lot of red and pink because it makes me happy, because it feels like warmth. It feels sweet, like sweetness. It feels like family, right? So in those contexts, in particular, my Christmas tree is fully like sparkly red, sparkly red, okay? If you've seen me on Instagram putting together my tree, you'll know it's a lot of red. And it just makes me super happy. It doesn't feel negative at all. It feels exciting and fun. It feels holiday-y, And it's not a surprise that so many holidays, especially in the United States, use red, right? And I didn't realize this. I remember when I did my fabric line So Ruby, which was an all red and white line. When they started selling it, it had a very long shelf life. And I was a little confused until I remembered that there was Christmas with red in it, there was Valentine's with red in it, there was 4th of July with red in it, and suddenly I was like, oh, there's a lot of holidays with red in it, which is really funny. And so it kept being used over and over again. So it's not that red is a negative thing, it's how you associate it and how you're using it. Now, one of the things I love to do is when I get dressed in the morning, and sometimes because I'm usually batching videos and stuff, I'm bringing down multiple colors, multiple things, but I find it interesting what I choose to put on in the morning because it almost always relates to my mood. Very often, if I'm excited for my day, I will put on something more vibrant. If I want a more mellow day, a softer day, and I'm trying to relax a little bit, maybe get into my design groove, which almost always is my relaxed state, you guys. Like for me, design is a relaxed state. I want to be designing and just like big breaths, maybe some Gilmore Girls while I'm like drawing all my stuff out. And so I tend to choose more pastels. I will choose softer or whites or plain colors. I like a lot of plain colors. You'll notice like the outfit I'm wearing right now, it's all a single color. I do love patterns, but on my relaxed days, I will choose simpler colors. And for you, depending on how you feel, like you might have favorite colors. Like for example, I know people who love yellow. Like for them, yellow is awesome. It's vibrant, it's energetic, and all of that good stuff. For me, yellow hurts my eyes a little bit, especially really bright yellows. So I have to be very careful about the way I use yellow because it feels like a strain for me. Now, a lot of people would say for them, it reminds them of the sun, it's very warm. And I don't doubt it, but it doesn't mean the same thing for me. Do I love to wear yellow? Yes, I do, especially on days when I'm feeling vibrant and energetic and I want to raise that energy level, okay? So figure out how the colors work for you and figure out what tones work for you, because you might say, I don't love red, but I really do love pink, or I like maroon, right? So those are all variations and they're all gonna feel different and bring you a different energy as you're looking at them or wearing them for the day. And while I'm not someone who's like a big believer in like this color does this and this color does that, what I do know is that color makes me happy. And I know for a lot of you, color makes you happy too. And when I'm picking my colors, when I'm choosing the things that I want surrounding me, I want them to make me happy and give me all of the positive vibes, okay? All of them. Because the more positive they are, the more I'll be able to create and design and feel really good. So hopefully that helps you, especially if you are thinking about color. I just wanted to kind of jog your memory on like what are you putting in front of your eyes? Guys, we're designers. We are very sensitive. What we look at every day, it matters. It totally matters. If we're looking at fluorescence from the 80s all day long, guess what ends up in our design work? Fluorescence, okay? So the kind of colors that surround us, they do tend to end up somewhere in our design work. So see clearly, choose carefully, and I can't wait to see you later.
Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.